country criticizing these referees. But more importantly, they're holding Kathy accountable. Kathy Engelbert is the commissioner of the league. She has yet to release a statement, yet to step in to address these WNBA referees. And it's looking like many people could be petitioning for Adam Silver to possibly step in and get rid of Kathy, dog. At this point, Caitlin Clark is getting hurt damn near every week. And it's looking intentional. At least
new footage has emerged approximately 24 hours after the basketball game in Boston, Massachusetts, revealing additional details about how Caitlin Clark may have re-aggravated her groin injury. The incident has created significant concern within the fan base and raised questions about officiating standards in the league. The situation has left supporters notably subdued online, with many reportedly considering reselling their All-Star game tickets or giving them away entirely. While official confirmation of Clark's injury status has not been announced, observers are preparing for what appears to be an inevitable announcement based on the visible evidence from the game.
Intentional. At least that's what it's looking like from this footage that was released today. So there was new footage that has come out of potentially, I'm gonna say allegedly, Jacy Sheldon kneeing Caitlin Clark in the groin. Yes, kneeing her in the groin. Let's head on over to X. Check out this footage right now, because this is looking spooky, man. So this is the clip that was released yesterday.
The officiating during the contest has drawn widespread criticism from fans and commentators globally. Many are calling for Commissioner Kathy Engelbert to address the referee situation and release a statement regarding the handling of games involving Clark. The lack of response from league leadership has intensified calls for intervention, with some suggesting that NBA Commissioner Adam Silver might need to step in to address the ongoing issues. The pattern of injuries to Clark has become increasingly concerning, with incidents occurring on a weekly basis. The frequency and nature of these injuries have led many to question whether the contact is intentional rather than incidental.
So this is the clip that was released yesterday. Well, I want you guys to watch this. How CC got injured, Ralph's aftermath. So there's a referee standing right there. We all can see. Look, Jacy Sheldon knees CC in the groin. Can you guys see this right here? You guys see that? That is a knee. Jacy Sheldon's knee is all the way fully, her whole leg is fully extended off the ground into Caitlin Clark's hand.
Recently released video footage shows what appears to be Jacy Sheldon making knee contact with Clark in the groin area. The footage reveals a referee positioned nearby during the incident, raising questions about the official's awareness and response to the contact. In the clip, Sheldon's knee appears to make full contact with Clark's midsection and groin region, with her leg fully extended off the ground during the collision. The immediate aftermath shows Clark grabbing her groin area, clearly indicating awareness of the injury. She subsequently approaches the referee to address the incident, but the official appears unresponsive to her concerns. The same referee was involved in other controversial moments throughout the game.
Her whole leg is fully extended off the ground into Caitlin Clark's hand and groin area. You clearly see that. She immediately grabs her groin. She knows she's hurt. She knows she's hurt. Confronts the referee, but he doesn't care. It's the same referee. No, hold on.
The timing of these injuries is particularly concerning given Clark's role as one of the league's most prominent players and viewer draws. Her presence has significantly increased attendance and television ratings, making her health and safety crucial to the league's success. Reports suggest that Clark's current injury may be more severe than her previous groin strain. Unofficial sources indicate the possibility of a tear in the groin area, which would represent a significant escalation from her earlier injury. The potential severity has heightened concerns about her participation in the upcoming All-Star festivities.
This is not the same footage.
And that was real.
But here's another angle from a fan's point of view of what happened. Watch this. So this was actually inside the stadium.
The All-Star court setup in Indianapolis has been completed, but uncertainty surrounds Clark's ability to participate. The timing of a potentially serious injury just before the All-Star weekend represents a worst-case scenario for both Clark and the league. The lack of official communication from the Indiana Fever organization has created a vacuum filled with speculation and concern. Fans are anxiously waiting for an official announcement regarding Clark's condition and status for upcoming games.
Just unfortunate, man. I said this last night, man. What if Caitlin Clark was your daughter, your relative, and just to see the treatment she has been receiving is completely beyond me, man. I don't know how many videos should be made. I don't know how many times. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to tell y'all to, hey, man, we got to speak up and speak.
The broader implications of these incidents extend beyond individual games to questions about league leadership and player protection. The commissioner's silence on these issues has intensified criticism and calls for accountability from the league's highest level. The situation has also reignited discussions about the physical nature of play in the league and whether adequate protections exist for star players. The pattern of incidents involving Clark has led to questions about whether current officiating standards are sufficient to maintain player safety. The incident with Sheldon represents the latest in a series of questionable contacts that have resulted in injuries to Clark. The accumulation of these incidents has created a narrative of targeting that concerns fans and observers of the league.
Hey, man, we got to speak up and speak out. At this point, they don't even care if we speak out. This point, they don't even care, bro. It's like this league don't give a fuck about Caitlin, bro. And it's crazy because she's the one bringing all the viewers. You would think, bro, she would be, well, they'll be able to somehow.
The timing of these injuries relative to important events like the All-Star weekend has created additional frustration. The possibility that Clark might miss or have limited participation in league showcase events due to preventable injuries has intensified criticism of current conditions. The fan reaction to these incidents has been increasingly vocal, with many calling for systemic changes to how games are officiated and how player safety is prioritized. The emotional investment of supporters in Clark's well-being has created a passionate response to each incident.
She would be, well, they'll be able to somehow figure out a way to get these referees in order, bro. Yeah. So the All-Star court is set in Indy. This has been released about a minute ago. So as you guys can see here, they're setting up for All-Star. It's just unfortunate, man. So the court is now set up.
The broader context of these incidents includes ongoing discussions about the physical style of play in the league and whether adjustments are needed to protect players, particularly those who draw significant attention and coverage. The situation has also highlighted the challenges facing league leadership in balancing competitive play with player safety. The repeated incidents involving one of the league's most prominent players have created a crisis of confidence in current protective measures and officiating standards. A remarkable incident unfolded during the recent Fever vs. Sun matchup that highlighted persistent officiating problems within professional women's basketball. The situation escalated rapidly from routine player-official communication to a heated confrontation that raised serious questions about referee conduct and professionalism.
Currently 5:54 in the morning. I got this video. I got the Aaliyah Boston, Tina Charles Haymaker video. And I have a video talking about something with the WNBA media just making up that Sanaya Rivers got assaulted by a fan. Have those 3 videos ready to get up in the morning once I wake up. And obviously the old Mazian video based on his, how he played. So yeah, lads, let's take a look at this clip. And this clip is crazy. So Caitlin Clark is having a normal conversation with the referee. A normal conversation.
Clark initially engaged in standard dialogue with the game official, maintaining composed demeanor while discussing play situations. The interaction appeared routine until the referee made a comment that dramatically shifted the conversation's tone. Clark's immediate reaction suggested the official's statement crossed appropriate boundaries of professional communication. Following the referee's controversial remark, Clark's behavior transformed completely. Her calm discussion became an animated confrontation as she expressed outrage at whatever inappropriate comment had been directed toward her. The intensity of her response indicated the severity of the official's transgression.
Having a normal conversation with the referee, a normal conversation, they're talking, the ref says something to her, and they're talking, and then the ref says something to her here, and she's like, what? And as soon as the ref says that, he's walking away, and she loses it. She's absolutely losing it. I think Brianne January went very overboard, by the way, with, yanking Caitlin Clark by the jersey. But this is Brianne.
Assistant coach Brianne January intervened by physically restraining Clark, grabbing her jersey to prevent further escalation. This physical intervention raised concerns about appropriate coaching methods and the necessity of such forceful restraint during emotional moments. The aggressive nature of the intervention appeared excessive given the circumstances. Clark continued pursuing the referee despite coaching intervention, attempting to draw the official closer for continued discussion. Her persistence in seeking resolution demonstrated determination to address whatever inappropriate conduct had occurred during their exchange. Witnesses reported Clark threatening to contact league officials about the referee's behavior. Specifically, she indicated plans to report the incident to Sue Bird, head of WNBA referee performance evaluation. This threat suggested confidence that league oversight would support her position regarding the official's misconduct.
Yanking Caitlin Clark by the jersey, but this is Brianne January. Like I don't know. I don't like how physical these coaches are with Caitlin Clark. I don't like it. It's something that I know people want to talk about, but I really don't like it. I'm going to make an entire video about that where it's like, look, Caitlin Clark's probably okay with it. I don't think she's got a problem with her coach. And at the end of the day, look, anyone's allowed to have an opinion on whatever it is when it comes to teams. I just don't like it. But,
The absence of technical foul assessment, despite Clark's animated behavior, strongly indicated referee culpability in the confrontation. Officials typically penalize such displays of dissent unless they recognize their own inappropriate conduct contributed to the situation. The lack of punishment suggested acknowledgement of wrongdoing. This incident occurred during one of the season's most poorly officiated contests. Multiple egregious calls and non-calls plagued the game, including failure to address obvious flagrant fouls and dangerous play. The officiating crew demonstrated consistent incompetence throughout the contest.
But she's then screaming down at the referee, as it's happening. And then she's there, trying to get the referee to come closer during this play. And then she's literally saying he's going to call the league for her, and then on him, and keeps going at him. They keep going at him, at her. Or, sorry, at each other, Jesus. But I think everyone's gone mad being like, how is Caitlin Clark not going?
Aaliyah Boston suffered a deliberate strike to the face that officials ignored completely. The obvious nature of the contact and officials' proximity to the incident made their non-call particularly egregious. This failure to protect players created dangerous precedents for future confrontations. Sophie Cunningham endured facial contact that officials dismissed without proper review. The pattern of ignored dangerous play contributed to an atmosphere where player safety became secondary to maintaining game flow. Officials consistently failed to address escalating physical confrontations. Connecticut Sun players faced inconsistent officiating standards throughout the contest. Defensive strategies that officials permitted during early game periods suddenly became violations in crucial fourth-quarter moments. This inconsistency fundamentally altered competitive balance and game outcomes.
Not gotten away with technical foul for having to be restrained going at the ref. Man, what the hell did this ref say? Because let's be real, no referee would let a player away with screaming at them like that. The referee 100% said something completely out of pocket. That is the high likelihood of the situation. is the referee said something completely out of line. Completely out of line.
The officiating crew's approach changed dramatically between game periods, creating confusion for players and coaches attempting to adjust strategies. Actions deemed acceptable in opening quarters became fouls in closing moments, demonstrating lack of consistent standards or game management philosophy. Referee inconsistency extended beyond individual calls to overall game management approach. Officials appeared to prioritize their own visibility over player performance, making themselves central figures in contest outcomes rather than facilitating fair competition between teams.
Completely out of line. And like if the referee did that, which again is very common in these scenarios, that referee, well, not very common, like it's not out of the realm possibility that the referees have said something crazy. And with that being said, a lot of the time referees aren't going to compound technical fouls because let's be real, if the ref said something crazy to Caitlin and then Caitlin got teed up, immediately
Clark's frustration represents cumulative effects of season-long officiating problems rather than isolated incident response. The pattern of poor calls and inappropriate conduct has created an environment where player outbursts become inevitable rather than exceptional occurrences. Current officiating standards fail to meet basic professional requirements of consistency, player safety, and game management. Referees should maintain anonymity through competent performance rather than becoming focal points of controversy and discussion.
He's probably like, immediately it's going to be rescinded. She says, I'll be calling, presumably the league, to report whatever was said. Like, that is the thing. That is a thing. It's like he definitely said something inappropriate, which is why she didn't get a technical foul. She said, I will be calling Sue. Sue Bledge, the head of WNBA referees performance. Like, his job, by the way, this person's job should be done anyway because he was staring at the Aaliyah Boston haymaker and did nothing.
Effective officiating requires three fundamental elements: consistent call application, player safety prioritization, and invisible game management. When officials meet these standards, their performance goes unnoticed by fans, and media coverage focuses on player achievements rather than controversial decisions. The current system resembles random chance rather than professional sports officiating. Officials appear to guess at appropriate calls rather than applying consistent standards based on established rules and precedents. This approach undermines competitive integrity and player safety. Referee behavior during this incident exemplifies broader systemic problems within league officiating structure. Individual official misconduct reflects inadequate training, supervision, and accountability measures that allow inappropriate conduct to persist without meaningful consequences.
Staring at the Aaliyah Boston haymaker and did nothing. And then the other referee who stared at Sophie Cunningham getting the swipe to the face. Like, this was one of the worst refereed. This is one of the worst referee games. And I actually feel bad for the Connecticut Sun because the Connecticut Sun got screwed. Because the referees literally went and, the Connecticut Sun literally, they defended Caitlin one way the entire game. And the referees were biting their whistles.
Player protection remains secondary consideration in current officiating approach. Officials prioritize game flow and personal authority over player safety, creating environments where dangerous play escalates without appropriate intervention or punishment. The Fever's recent winning streak has been overshadowed by officiating controversies in every contest. This pattern suggests systematic problems rather than isolated incidents, requiring comprehensive review and reform of current referee training and evaluation processes. Clark's justified frustration with officiating standards reflects broader player sentiment regarding inadequate game management. The accumulation of poor calls and inappropriate conduct has created an atmosphere where confrontations become necessary for addressing persistent problems.